I've never seen it.
Is how people not only love love Reagan, but love politicians. It's just like I was reading this guy this morning, and he was like, I was just like looking up on State of the Union stuff, and this one guy was just like, God, I am sick and tired of CNN just being so fucking negative on Joe Biden. Does anyone have anywhere else to get news? And I was scrolling through the comments, and most of them were just like, MSNBC is pretty good. And then at the end of it, he was like, I think I've been watching MSNBC, and I actually am really liking what they're doing. And I'm like, wait, this whole thing was just so you could go one channel up? Like to another cable news, like
literally
this
one
vast
up.
search is just like another cable news. The other one for people who don't like.
I'm on channel 33. Does anyone know if there's anywhere in the world I could find some information? On 34?
It was fuck. I was just like, and the amount of people who are like, you're gonna love it.
That's so
I'm
funny
like,
to be like,
what the fuck?
I'm introducing you to the
incredible.
news.
To the other fucking major media network. Like, it's, I don't know. It was like,
if you love
what
information,
resolution?
but you're tired of graphics.
And his complaint was like, CNN's a little too tough. It's like, oh my God. You are.
If they're a little too tough, you're going to hate the world.
Yeah, no, you're really going to, if you think Jake Tapper is your biggest problem, then boy, MSNBC is for you.
There's a really good, not to get back on Reagan, but his biography, Dutch. Has anybody read that before? It's pretty special. It's like I'm not like a book guy. I'm actually can't even read, to be honest. But people who like books are really into it because it's like one of the first biographies where the guy just like started writing fiction and nonfiction and like blended them because he literally he couldn't figure out Ronald Reagan. Like he spent all this time with him. And he was just like, this dude is not a real dude. I had to like make stuff up. It's incredible. He starts writing himself into the book as a fake character because it's the only way he can try to like describe Reagan. It's honestly incredible. It's like the book version of like a Charlie Kaufman movie.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah, strong
recommendation.
recommendation.
Losing his mind. He was like, fuck it, I'm in.
Yeah,
it's
like
great. I bet Reagan, like being a source for his own biography, would be like that. Have you read that Norm autobiography that Norm Macdonald wrote, where he just like made up, or like Woody Guthrie's autobiography where he lied the whole time and then ends the book by saying, "I made all of that up, but wasn't it a good book?" Like it's like he just makes up his whole biography.
Woody.
So good.
I would. We were just Todd. I was telling Garrett that his podcast, The Dollop, where it's like a dive-in history. Comedy reactions, because you're sort of like learning some of it as it goes along as well. Anyway, I was on.
Oh, I'm learning everything as we go. I know nothing. You're being gentle.
Shane Torres and I were on the road and we started binging all of these episodes and just like using it to shout at conservative audience members every night. But clearly, the information's like 6 degrees removed from the source at this point, and comedians aren't exactly the filter that keeps it true. Or
I don't know if you've
accurate.
seen Whitney Cummings' latest tweet, but actually we are.
That's true. We are. This is why I listen to it, because as the new philosophers, it's important to.
Thank you.
I don't think any philosopher has ever been able to juggle.
No way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mainly the robes.
I would love, Now, when this has nothing, it should be. No album should come out if you have tape over your mouth. No album. I think we're 1 or 2 degrees separated from comedians dressing up in like Greek philosopher robes on their album cover.
I want to do tape over my mouth so badly or maybe tape over my eyes.
Great.
It just says like, this is gonna hurt to remove.
No, nothing. Yeah.
Do a whole show where you're so edgy, but you have tape over your eyes because
my whole face is just wrapped in yellow tape.
You're just the Riddler.
Yeah.
I think there might be too many comedians who think they're almost the Riddler. They're like diners being open away from being the Riddler again.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And I'll tell you what, when you watch them, a lot of times I'm like, maybe they do know something I don't, because this is horrible.
Sometimes when I watch them get into the car they leave in, then I wonder maybe they're doing something differently than I am.
It is It is brutal. There's so many brutal.
Truly the riddle. That's the riddle of life right there.
Yeah. No, they're just a question mark car. You're like,
I think that.
Why so serious?
You thought we would have moved beyond mouth censored tape, but there's still like you'll get a Netflix special every once in a while that's like, and there's like the infamous Ricky Gervais crucified himself.
Yeah.
Photo that he like still uses for his headshot for things. It's like hosting the Golden Globes, and this headshot is himself like crucified. You're like, buddy, first off, that's 60 pounds ago.
Yeah. That's why he's still using it. He just answered.
Yeah, I was so skinny when I was
got that crucifix body.
Oh, but sometimes he says a funny thing.
Crucifit.
Like,
that would be the workout regimen.
The crucifit?
Yeah.
That's Righteous Gemstones might hire you just for that one pun.
Todd has note cards in the background, so we know someone's working. Someone's doing stuff.
You see Todd take down a note card that says crucifit and just rip it
up
and throw it in the trash.
We're not making a lot of progress on those note cards, but I think after today's tape or the mouth idea, I got to put some new ones up. I got some new ideas now.
It's gonna be some big inspiration for you right there.
Yep.
Here we are.
Do you need me to record anything, Kyle? Do you need me to record my half?
That'd be great if you guys could record that on there. Yeah. We got to make sure we're not being censored, so everyone please record your podcast track individually.
That's right. No one Zoom to jump in and
Todd, Gareth, Todd, everyone meeting each other.
Hi, Todd.
Hell yeah.
Hi, Todd. Okay, I'm recording. Whether you like it or not, Zoom.
I'll record basically a separate intro, or probably roughly a month from it coming out.
Okay.
When that happens there, and we'll do the script, and then we'll do sort of some like movie-based, pun-based, frustrating games, and then we're out of here.
Okay. All right. Lovely.
Great.
Gorgeous.
Well, hey, this is Never Seen It, the podcast where comedians rewrite movies they've never seen before. Today, joining us for the first time ever, having never seen Citizen Kane, is Gareth Reynolds. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Joining us once again, frequent guest of the podcast, I'm going to assume has probably seen Citizen Kane, but I wouldn't be surprised otherwise, is Todd Sklar.
I have seen Citizen Kane. That's a fun one to do. Never seen it. I wonder, is that still like a cultural, like, important movie to people? If we move beyond that now, I feel like when Get Out came out, everybody's like, this is the best movie ever made, and no one cares about Citizen Kane anymore.
I don't know if it was a 1-to-1 bumping out of Get Out replacing Citizen
Kane. I think if you go to the IMDb top 250, it was an actual bump right out. They pushed that in Suicide Squad. They pushed it right out.
Some old producer's like, they screwed us.
We're out of here.
Hey, guys.
It's just an old guy dropping his DVD copy of of Get Out on the ground, and he just goes, "Get out," and that's how it begins.
I wish they'd get out. I wish someone was in the room to hear that.
I think it's still important. I don't know, Gareth. What do you bring to this? What is in your head about
as most things,
Kane?
Very little.
Simpsons references at least. I feel like you might have you'll have Citizen Kane references that you don't even know are Citizen Kane references. That was my favorite part about watching. Is like, oh, I've seen this movie because I've watched 150 Simpsons episodes.
That is pretty much what I bring to it. But even then, I was trying to think. I'm like, what do I really know? I don't even fully. I need to rewatch the Simpsons episode. That's where I'm at.
You have Citizen Kane working at a nuclear power plant.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Yeah, that it's just good conflation. But I know that I saw it on a plane as an option, and I thought, oh. And then I was like, no, I'm not.
That's a bizarre plane movie. It's
that is a bizarre plane movie.
What's crazy have classics.
But it's wild that the rights to Citizen Kane could ever end up on an airplane. You know what I mean? I feel like you should have to, if you want to watch it now, you should have to go to a museum in Burbank or something and watch it.
Well, I think that with every movie on a plane, to some extent, that is a metric of success because obviously somebody has bought your film and that's great.
Yes.
But also, what a terrible way to actually enjoy cinema. When I told someone that I was in a conversation about Gravity when that movie had been out for a couple of years. I was like, oh, I just watched Gravity. And they're like, what'd you think? And I was like, a lot of hoopla. And they go, really? And I was like, well, I watched it on a plane. And they were like, well, I'll tell you, it's probably a much different experience than IMAX, honestly. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm missing something.
It's almost a ride. And so it's like you watched yourself take a Universal Studios ride.
Yeah, and I was, but also there are times I think when you're on a plane where I'll enjoy the fuck out of a movie for some reason, lack of oxygen or just, such severe boredom, like, where you'll just go, oh my God, this is like the best. Like I saw, whatever that, I'm going to mess up the name, but the Brad Pitt movie.
Astra.
Ad Astra.
Yeah.
I almost said Ed Astra. But and I was like, this movie's amazing. And then like the last 10 minutes, I was like, not great, but the rest of it was I was like enjoying the fuck.
That's just because you were a little closer to where it takes place.
Yeah, you're skying, man.
I watched Game Night, which I do think is good and funny, but I watched it on an airplane and just couldn't stop telling people it was the funniest movie. Like, they don't make movies like this that's so fun. And people were just like, I mean, it's, it's a comedy that came out.
Good.
But it's not like stop the conversation at the party.
You guys talk about Game Night? We should do a Game Night. Movie's amazing.
It could, that and also another great movie, Nobody, was another one that I saw on a plane with Bob Odenkirk, where it's like Bob Odenkirk.
Yes, right.
And I was
That's a great plane movie.
It's a great plane movie, and it's all I want to talk about.
Movie.
And it's still probably a really good movie. I bet it's great.
It's pretty good.
But
pretty good.
Plane movies are great when they're sort of a self-sustaining. You don't have to bring anything into it or out of it.
Yes. Yep.
I cry a lot at plane movies. Or I guess most of the times in the last like 10 years I've cried at a movie has been on a plane. I feel like Dirty Dancing got me once. Wow. League of Their Own got me once. And these are movies I've seen before, but sometimes when you're up in the air, you got the ginger ale going and you're just like, you're fucking in it. It hits different.
I've had that too. Yeah. I think it has to be something with the less oxygen. It's like,
yeah.
Well, now we got to wear these muzzles.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
If Ronald Reagan was president, no.
If Reagan was president, we wouldn't be wearing those. Goddamn it,
we wouldn't even be able to get on an airplane.
That's right, and things were better. And then Get Out came along and ruined everything.
What is that? When he died? I'm sure it's not, but
when he died, when planes.
It's if you look up Ronald Reagan, death is the first thing. But no, he died in 2004. I thought he died so much later than that. I thought it was so much more recent.
Well, because
I thought it was so much earlier than that.
Great.
Why did I get this tattoo?
2004?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty recent.
To be fair,
that's insane.
He died the day he understood what happened on 9/11.
He was alive for 9/11. That's insane that Ronald Reagan was like, and he let it happen.
Yeah.
Nobody can say that Reagan stopped 9/11. That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
I never would have thought of that.
Well, hold on, I got to look up and see if Mark Wahlberg was alive then.
Oh. Yeah, well, I wonder what he was doing.
Not only
what he would have done if he was on that plane.
He would have been. It wouldn't have been watching a movie.
I can tell you that much. Yeah, he would have been doing his own movie, his own Steven Seagal movie, killing all those guys.
He'd have landed on the Twin Towers.
He has to turn off Game Night to go stop 9/11. He's like,
or he won't do it because Game Night's so good.
Jesse Plemons is just so versatile. I thought he was just going to be creepy like Breaking Bad, but he's so good.
If I'm gonna go, I want to go watching Game Night.
There's no way he watches
Reagan
movies
was
he's not
alive during 9/11. 2004. That's nuts.
Yeah.
In that book, Dutch, there's a really good part where it talks about when he was shot and attempted to be like assassinated, and his wife, he was like going into surgery to get the bullet removed, and it's like emergency surgery, and the doctors are like, he's in critical condition, so he's not stable, and like
never was.
The doctors think he's gonna be fine. Yeah, that's true, he never was, but his wife doesn't know that, and she's like, I love you, please come back out as he's going to the surgery room, and he says something like, well, it ain't no trip to Canada. Like, he says like some like politician thing like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, she tells the author, she's like, I don't know why he said that. Like, he can't even have a real moment with his wife on his potential deathbed. He's still
full actor mode.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
pretty good.
He'll be fine.
He would have stopped 9/11 though.
Absolutely.
If he was around.
No doubt.
He was around. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that.
All right. I don't want to get too far into I literally almost said Ryan Reynolds instead of Ronald Reagan.
Ryan Reynolds.
But
he'd make a great Ronald Reagan in a biopic.
Probably not. There's going to be so many. Anytime I think of anyone, I'm like, they're going to. You know how stuff has happened throughout like history forever. Anytime anything has happened, I'm just like, that's going to be a Hulu series. Because something happens.
Now it sort of is. I mean, there is so. I mean,
do you remember stuff? Like that's how I would enter any pitch room now. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You like stuff? Check this out.
Remember anything from that there used to be? What if we did?
What if we made that?
Hear me out. We don't ask the people who were involved with it in real life because I need them to be. You know that person we were mean to unfairly? I hope she gets upset at a billboard.
Remember the Pam and Tommy sex tape?
Yeah. That's the one that
I
is
do.
crazy to me. Because that's a whole show, isn't it? Or is that just a movie?
Yeah,
no, it's a series.
No, it's a whole series.
That's so crazy to me. It feels like it would be usually it's sort of like something like, I really liked I, Tonya. I thought that was a good movie. Where they're just like, this person was sort of unfairly raked over the coals. Maybe we can like
wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying Tonya Harding was unfairly raked over the coals? I'm saying
we're gonna show this person in like more of in like a different non-media light.
Oh yeah.
But like the Pam Anderson, Tommy Lee one just seems to be like kind of like this was a wacky thing, but I feel like ruined her life probably.
Well, I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
It's an interesting thing to try to like get to the front end of like our tabloid culture, but I haven't seen it. I haven't watched it. And I have no idea if that's what it's actually about. But I feel like I know somebody who was a writer on it. I know that when they were pitching their take, that was their big take is like, how do we get to like TMZ and Kim Kardashian made a sex tape and now she's famous? And it's like, it all started here. But even that is like, I don't know how you make that a whole series.
I just see
that's an episode of a 90 series.
A lot of stuff seems to be like a 1 hour and 10 minute or 110-minute movie turned into a 7-hour television.
It's a lot
program.
of those docu-series too, where you're like, this could have been.
The Monopoly, Monopoly McDonald's thing. When you're on episode 6 and you're like, I don't know, we're just saying the same thing.
I think I just watched this one.
Yeah.
I watched this one 3 times in a row.
It is crazy. That's so yeah. But I'm not vindicating Tonya Harding. But there's more, and it's like I read these things where it's
that's
like
all I
Pam
wanted.
Anderson's
That's all I
really upset. She's super upset about the show. She's not going to watch it. And you're like, if you're making a thing that she hates and doesn't want, it just feels weird.
Yeah, you're not doing it right.
It feels a little weird or a little mean.
I rewatched Barbed Wire a couple of weeks ago, and I have very, very a lot of sympathy for Pamela Anderson because if you're 12 years old,
I don't know what that is.
Maybe the best. You don't know what Barbed Wire is?
I know what lowercase b, lowercase w.
It's Pamela Anderson's action movie that's basically like they tried to make her into like a Bridget Fonda action babe, and she goes topless in it by choice, her idea. She kind of kicks ass. Xander Berkeley's in it, and he's having a lot of fun. It's like almost a fun bad movie. Strong recommendation on Barbed Wire.
Like Catwoman, kind of.
It's not that bad. It's not quite that bad, and you wish it was. It's a little too competently made, but it's pretty fun.
I've seen it. I've definitely seen Barbed Wire.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a very good time. It was a good rewatch.
I have never even heard of this.
I used to dress up like superheroes for children's birthday parties, and one time I was dressed up at Paul Mitchell, who's not actually Paul Mitchell, but the guy who owns Paul Mitchell, this other guy.
The salon?
Yeah, the guy, the salon guy, but he bought Paul Mitchell. He looks like Paul Mitchell, but he's not Paul Mitchell. Anyway, that's its own podcast. I just sold that series to Hulu, actually. And
that sentence will be turned into 9 episodes.
That sentence has been 15 episodes for Hulu. Just got greenlit. And there were so many famous people there, and I was a character called the Dark Magician from Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was my brother's favorite costume I ever had because it had like this 5-foot head extension. It was just such a pain in the ass to wear. Like you couldn't, like, going into doorways, you would be like, sorry. And you'd be like bending over to like get something, and you'd hit the kid on the head like it was a gavel. But anyway, I also had this staff, not like people who worked for me, like an actual like kind of like wizardy staff. And I was there,
Friar Tuck style,
kind of like with a little crystal in it or whatever.
Yeah.
And so Pam Anderson and Tommy Lee were there, and their kid Brandon, who I only know their name because of the story, asked if he could see the staff. So I gave it to him. He's probably like 6, and he just took it and he smashed it on the ground and totally broke it. And
awesome!
Like, Jesus Christ! And I like took it back, and then like we all kind of like made eye contact, and I didn't know what to say. And then I told my boss, I go, hey, Pam Anderson and Tommy Lee's kid broke the Dark Magician staff. And he goes, well, did you ask him for money? And I was like, look, I'm already in like a pathetic enough position as is. Like, I can't be like, can I get some staff cash from you guys? Like, your son, I'm 30 years old and your son broke my Dark Magician staff. And
dude, your boss sucks. He'd just be like, dude, that's awesome. Fucking Tommy Lee's kid's a little shithead. That's the way it should be.
He did not see it that way. I'll tell you that much.
Jeez.
We should call this guy right now and try to explain to him why that was awesome and why he should not have been mad about that.
Well, that's also been
that's gonna be my podcast. I'm selling that. That's my Hulu show. Is we're just gonna call people.
I'm afraid you're too late. Showtime already bought it. Showtime just bought it. I just got a text.
Oh, good luck with logging into that without a cable provider.
So, someone's got experience.
I'm just trying to watch that Jim Carrey sad dramatic stand-up show. I don't even remember what it was called.
Oh, fuck.
Wasn't that on Showtime?
Yeah.
I get some Showtime is really good advertising, but then I just never see the stuff. I'm dying up there.
That's it.
Because didn't someone actually like get shot on stage in the pilot? I just am guessing.
No, in the pilot, a guy does Carson, and I think he kills himself because he's like, there's no worlds left to conquer. It's something like that.
Wait, what?
Or he didn't get invited to the couch or something. Yeah, but I watched the pilot, and like, yeah, a guy dies because he's like, he like does Johnny and he crushes.
And then someone made Joker based on 18 seconds of a Showtime pilot.
Mm-hmm. And here we are.
Why so serious?
A good gag would be if Carson had a pull-out couch.
Oh, man.
You go to get on the couch and he pulls it out. You just take a little nap and they go to commercial.
That would be way. Oh man.
When
way
did
better.
Johnny Carson die? On 9/11.
2004.
Was when they died on 9/11, 2004, just the 3-year anniversary.
Nah.
Well, all right, we got to talk about Citizen Kane. I'm supposed to say that we're going to take a break a couple times in every episode, so we're going to take a break.
Oh, great.
All right, we're back.
Is there going to be some cool advertising?
I don't know.
What kind of commercial?
If not, how embarrassing would it be? I get no advertisers, and I just keep saying we're going to take a break. All right, we're going to.
That's better.
That is.
That is better.
We take a break. I don't even mute anything. We just all go do something individually in our houses.
Let's take a break.
And we just,
I'm gonna have a bath.
Right? You just sort of hear a shower turn on. You hear like food show up. We record the next part tomorrow. We just left the hot mics for 23 and a half hours and came back.
Who were you fighting with? It sounded really bad. I'm getting a divorce.
Used to refer. They used to call like commercials messages. I like that.
After these messages, they really did.
We have some messages
that's right.
for you. It's a message. These companies have some messages they want to give to us, and we're going to receive them.
Actually, I'll watch full old Carson episodes on YouTube, and the best part in many ways is the commercials. Like, there's stuff where you're just going, what? You could just see like the seeds of the capitalist nightmare starting to flourish.
Yeah.
Where it's just like the butter butler, and you're like, what the fuck was this thing?
Why? Yes.
Just something that's like 30 of them in a landfill somewhere for no fucking reason.
Everything in the commercials for all of that stuff just feels like early Shark Tank, but door to door is what it is.
Yes.
If a guy comes to your door selling you the double microwave, you got to get it.
It's another reason, it's another reason why Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I do really enjoy, is a great soundtrack, because the DJ ads are so, again, you're just starting to see it's all like useless shit being just pumped into people.
I mean, that's what he particularly is as good as anyone at, is like setting up the stage of this world. And I think what's like the set design or the world building in that movie is so incredibly accurate and fun, and makes even like a mundane moment interesting the entire time.
No, but it's like I'll watch any old ad, anything now, I'm like, oh, stab me.
I have definitely lost a lot of hours to Nickelodeon commercial blocks from the 90s on YouTube.
Right, exactly.
Like all the old fruit snack commercials and Micro Machines and Super
Everything was very intense.
It's incredible.
It feels like whoever the ad agency was that did the Crossfire commercial was just universally hired out.
Yes.
And it's just like that. I don't know what that sensation is, where you don't remember something and then you see it and you remember it in its totality. Yeah, it's like Crossfire. Yes. Like, I completely forgot about Crossfire. You mentioned Crossfire, and I remember the commercial distinctly. And that's what that experience is like.
It's incredible.
Crossfire. Yeah. It's just, and it's also so all of those things sucked. Like the Crossfire thing isn't
not fun to play.
It's so small. It's like the size of an iPad.
We're talking about the Pat Buchanan debate show, right? I'm sorry.
Obviously.
Okay, great.
Obviously.
I love when Jon Stewart went on and played Crossfire with me.
That
just eviscerated the bow tie
But they're so small, and the game is so little, and it's not very fast, but it is shot. Michael Bay made the commercial for it.
It's essentially Hungry Hippos minus the hippos.
It is. It's really, Hungry Hippos, but for only 2 people with like.
It's really not as much fun. How weird is those Sega commercials? That was just a guy screaming Sega. That is one of the craziest things in the history of the world. Like, what a weird way to advertise.
I don't remember that.
Sega? The guy just screaming Sega at the end of the commercials?
The Sega scream? That. I don't remember that. I kind of do. It's like if I saw
it's a good YouTube search.
I'd be like, oh my
There's
God,
a good Sega scream compilation. It's just
a very specific thing that floats into my head all the time is that Nickelodeon branded clock. And it was like a clock that Nickelodeon made. I think they gave away if you like got last on Legends of the Hidden Temple or something like that. And it just it looked goofy and like looked like cool Nickelodeon
and then you saw it.
It's
very like smaller and none of it. They made it seem like they made it seem like it was made by like Dexter from Dexter's Lab, but it's like the clock itself is kind of like nothing. Like it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
They made it look like it would do tons of stuff.
Right.
For everyone listening, we're looking at a picture of the Nickelodeon Time Blaster. But look at the
volume.
I'm
looking at pictures of my family, but I'm still enjoying the hell.
There they are.
All right, my uncle.
I shouldn't have Googled your family.
Man,
look at the alarm.
I really hope
like
the guy who came
knob.
up with the name Time Blaster got a raise. That's just a tremendous name for a clock. The Time Blaster.
Time Blaster.
That is like that's it. That's like you either made a time machine or you made the Nickelodeon clock. That's how you get to name your thing the Time Blaster.
When you finger time.
Yeah.
Time
straight
blaster.
Up. If Ronald Reagan had the Time Blaster on 9/11, those terrorists would
things would be different.
A little different. Yeah.
Eventually they were calling his brain the Time Blaster.
And that's when he got shot. They're like, Time Blaster.
Yeah.
He's been Time Blaster.
Man, I hate the guy, but saying you missed when you get shot is kind of a funny thing to do.
Oh, it's incredible.
I'm not okay with us saying we hate the guy. That's one of our greatest leaders. What an unbelievable person.
You missed is incredible. Was it? I think maybe it was Andrew Jackson. Somebody, when they tried to get assassinated, they like had to be pulled off the guy from beating him.
I think it might be Jackson.
That sounds like you just sort of learn. It's a different. It's crazy that we still everyone is like, you know what the perfect document is? The one that's older than the guy who dueled someone when he was president.
Oh yeah,
I dueled a guy.
And again, I mean,
well, it wasn't even the last duel.
No, we don't even. And we're not even like. I just sold that. We're not even holding true to it. It's like it's all just such an amazing knot of bullshit where it's like I don't even know where. It's like a pair of shoes that the knot is so bad you're like I can't wear them again.
Yeah, can't wear them again. Yep, we're just gonna set them
down. I'm overwhelmed
with
what I should possibly do to try to fix them.
Yeah.
Right, and the idea is like, well, you could just relace the shoes, and you're like, oh, throw out all the shoes and go to what about the shoe? You're right. What about
forget about the integrity of the tongue?
You need a Nickelodeon Time Blaster.
I bet Nickelodeon Time Blasters are either $1 or $700 at this point. It's either all of that nostalgia stuff is either like you could just get one really quick, or it is so expensive.
Well, it's why we have hoarders. That's like the hoarder mentality. Is like, you guess who one day is going to be worth $1 billion? It's like, Grandma, there are dead cats under this. That mattress will be worth money. You wait and see.
You always want like the people like doing a lot. If I found this thing at a thrift store, it's $20. If I put 80 hours into this, that's $100. And it's like, oh, you don't value your life. Because if I said, and on your deathbed, if I said, do you want to buy a week of time for $80?
Oh my God, that's so true.
That was the deal. That's pretty much Citizen Kane. That is ultimately
honestly, you're not
encapsulated that movie.
We should get into it. So we're talking. What you brought in some Simpsons reference, or like the Simpsons probably is referencing. You might not even know. Is there anything that was like so large that you're like, well, I know this about it? Or what is your notions?
To write the script, I brought nothing to it other than a new interpretation on the title.
Okay.
I know the time period a little bit, but I really don't have any idea what it's about. I know it's Orson Welles, but again, mine is this is pretty much a redo.
Okay.
Orson Welles could definitely play this main character, but it's not. I don't know the first name of the guy in Citizen Kane. I don't know, and I really do not know what it is about.
Great. Well,
that's fantastic.
Let's get into it.
I've avoided, and as if you listen to my podcast, you'll see that I have a rare ability to not know much. So I brought that skill to this.
I think that then it's a perfect match because we exist to not know.
Thank you.
Wow. So you don't know anything about Citizen Kane. You must not have dated anyone I lived with in college.
I didn't.
Which
no,
is
and I went
feat.
to Emerson where there's a lot of films. I have no clue.
Great, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Wow.
So cast this up however you'd like to. Whoever you'd like to play.
Well, I can. The main character's French, so I can do the. Well, there's a couple French characters.
If you're confident and you want to knock out any characters, it's you take the stab wherever you want.
I'll be Jean-Luc.
Okay.
I'll be Jean-Luc. The stage direction, I don't know who wants to read the stage direction. Kyle, you want to read the stage direction?
I could do that.
Todd, why don't you be the Proctor and Papa Kane?
Cool.
And then Kyle, I'll also need you to be Pete and any version of Pete we see.
Pete et al. Is that what that means?
It does now.
It does now.
Hell yeah.
All right, here we go. Gareth Reynolds has never seen Citizen Kane. This movie is a 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Isn't that crazy? But also there's like 11 reviews. Those
guys are all dead.
There literally might be 100, and one of them was like, okay, here we go. Gareth Reynolds has never seen Citizen Kane. Exterior, United States Citizenship Test Center, day. It's black and white. Maybe was the only option, or is the only option, as we pan down a large New York skyscraper to see a long line out the door. Men who look like leprechauns or the Russian Street Fighter character Zangief. That's a future reference. Text, 1920. Interior, United States Citizenship Test Center. That sounds like a vocal warm-up. Test room.
Test room. Yeah, United States Citizenship
Test Center. Test room.
United
Continuous.
States Citizenship Center. Test room.
Unique new United States Citizenship Test Center. Test room. Continuous. York.
Now you're ready.
Around 30 desks are crammed into this tiny room with various stereotypes of foreign countrymen. Yes, men only. It was 1920. Pensively look up and then write down answers on the paper. We land on Jean-Luc Kane, garbed in a beret with a tiny mustache. He smokes 2 cigarettes at the same time. He is stressed.
Sink, Jean-Luc Kane. Sink!
We see the test he is taking. Above the question he is stuck on are answers like 47 stairs and, I don't know, George Washington again. Fuck, this is hard.
2 minutes left, foreigners.
What? Oh, come on!
He looks at his question. He writes, George Washington? Exterior, United States Citizenship Test Center, classroom a little later. A piece of paper is slapped on the wall. That's so funny if they do it like this. A piece of paper is slapped on the wall with the results of the exam. Jean-Luc pushes past a man who looks like he belongs in Oktoberfest to see his results. We can tell by his deflation that is not good news. But to be safe, he says,
fuck my ass with my mouth. If there is a God, I will kill him.
He lights 2 cigarettes at the same time and walks off. He checks his pocket watch.
Oh, zut alors, I'm late for work.
Interior, Eiffel barber shop. Later. All of your locations are good improv team names as well.
Thank you.
That's true.
Thank you.
A number of French barbers cut hair, shave faces, and one guy's even getting a crotch wax, tastefully hidden. Jean-Luc races in.
That's some Citizen Kane.
He jumps next to an open chair where a man sits waiting. Jean-Luc gets right to work and lathers the man's face with cream.
Hey, how about those Yankees, huh, fellow patriots?
Papa Kane, Jean-Luc's father, 60s, with a beret who smokes 6 cigarettes at once, casts Jean-Luc into darkness with his shadow.
You are late, my boy. Where are you?
Oh, yes. Sorry, Papa. Where was I? I was making love to a beautiful woman, Doggy.
Papa Kane squints at his son, but then smiles.
That's my boy. As you know, there are a few reasons on this list of why one can be late to the Eiffel barber, and that is a tuppet.
He points to a sign that reads, acceptable tardy reasons. 1, love to a woman. 2, buying cigarettes. 3, a combo of 1 and 2. 4, le poison.
This is a Simpsons episode. This is awesome. Well, get to work.
A pencil drops out of Jean-Luc's pocket, causing Papa Kane to stop in his tracks.
What is this? A pencil?
Yes. I made love to the woman with it.
Lies! You were at that citizens facility again, trying to deny your weren't you?
Do some of the warm-ups with the United Citizenship Testing. No. Okay, what if I was? It is the only way to get ahead here because of the extreme bigotry.
We are French. You are French, boy. I will not warn you again. This country will not let foreigners be a part of it. Believing that is as stupid as smoking one cigarette at a time or doing missionary sex.
Well, I failed again anyway, just like that foolish George Washington. Maybe. Still very confused as to what he did.
Jean-Luc smiles to the man in his chair. He is clearly an American named Pete Graham. Hey, don't worry about it. If you study hard enough and becomes an American, he'll be happy.
I fear you are wrong, Pete.
Jean-Luc begins the shaving.
He is so big-headed. Nothing like you Americans. You're so cool. Oh, I wish I was a history teacher like that George Washington. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he wasn't. Curse you, Washington!
George Washington, he didn't teach history. He made it, my friend. Why, he was the first president of the country. He was a general before that, and as a young lad, he cut down a cherry tree and lied about it.
Oh, gosh, Pete. I wish I knew all that you knew.
Leave the sideburn. As Jean-Luc moves the blade, he cuts deeply into Pete's throat, causing an extreme and fast hemorrhage.
Hey, what did you do? Holy fuck, he is endlessly bleeding.
Pete slumps, dead.
Now he's dead. Alive. I mean, he is alive, finally.
All the concerned customers go back to calm upon hearing that Pete is finally alive, not dead. Exterior alley later, Papa Kane and Jean-Luc jam Pete's legs into a barrel and douse it in gas. They each throw all their lit cigarettes inside, and it combusts at once.
Okay, well, we got away with this, but let that be a lesson to you. No more foolishness of trying to be an American.
He lights 20 cigarettes at once and walks away.
Ah, that's nice.
Jean-Luc is crestfallen and slumps into a wall.
Oh, what a day.
You're telling me. Jean-Luc looks to his right and jumps up in horror. He sees a translucent Pete. This is Ghost Pete.
Pete?
Close. I'm a ghost now.
Pete, I didn't mean to kill you. I'm so sorry.
Hey, stop. Honest mistake. And get this, being dead is amazing. I can walk through walls. This guy on the train taught me how to touch things by focusing anger on it. I even made a clay pot with my ex. It's all good.
Oh, okay. Why are you here?
Well, you are not going to believe this, but I wasn't the best guy when I was alive. I robbed from a blind guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I cheated on my wife.
Oh, well, that's too bad as well, I guess.
I lied to the police. I raised a kid who wasn't mine after I stole him. I created a 3-card Monty ring that brought poverty to literally hundreds of thousands. I actually killed a guy on my own once, too. There's a beat. Jean-Luc isn't sure that he is done.
Well,
I started catfights and I bet on them. I pretended to be a priest to sleep.
I get it, Pete. I understand.
I dynamited an orphanage.
I get it.
Right. Well, it turns out I need to do a good deed to get into heaven.
Oh, okay.
So, are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'll help you pass the test.
Oh, great. Yeah, that works too.
Interior, United States Citizenship Test Center Classroom Day. Same scene as before. People are taking the test, but everyone is stressed. Everyone but Jean-Luc, who has Ghost Pete by his side. Number 5 is William Howard Taft. 6 is whiskey. 7, the dawn's early light. 8 is a bowler hat. Jean-Luc scribbles them down with a smile. Interior, barbershop, later. Jean-Luc comes into the shop.
You are late again, Jean-Luc.
Oh, sorry, Papa. Citizen Kane messed up.
Papa Kane is confused.
Citizen Kane?
Jean-Luc smiles and holds up a certificate of citizenship. Fuck! A certificate of citizenship.
That's right. I passed.
What? Oh, my son. I didn't want you to because I never thought you could. I am so proud of you.
They embrace. Well, my work here is done. I'm off to a test of my own. Ghost Pete looks to the sky. Whoa, everyone is naked. It's an orgy. All right. Ghost Pete descends in a portal of light upwards. Papa Kane looks at his boy with pride.
Now get back to work, Citizen Kane.
Jean-Luc smiles to his dad.
Fuck no. I'm going to be a banker on Wall Street and accrue as much wealth as a man can. It'll be disgusting how awful I become.
That's my boy.
Credits over accordion music.
Is it close?
The accordion music is a very nice touch. That feels on par with a wonderful French film. That's great. That was awesome.
It's close, right? It's got to be.
It's maybe better.
It almost is it a prequel? It could possibly be a prequel.
Touche.
I'll take it.
Touche. Yeah.
Whoa, staying on theme.
You know, it's funny. I couldn't help but start thinking. This is somewhat unrelated, or actually, it's completely unrelated. But with all the cigarette smoking, one of my friends worked for Obama back in the day, and when he would come to New York, I would get to see like my friend afterwards. And one night he was doing like a thing, like some gala thing that ended like at like 11. So then my buddy was like, "Hey, let's like meet at a bar. We're going out with some people after." So we get to like the bar at midnight, and we have like a fun night out, and then at like 4:30 in the morning, he's like, "Hey, like I'm gonna go meet a friend of mine, Sean. You should come. It'll be super fun." We go to this bar on like the Upper East Side, and it's Sean Penn. And me and like 10 people hang out with Sean Penn, and I'm not exaggerating, even like 1%. He smoked minimum 550 cigarettes in like 2 hours. It was unfucking believable. I've never seen anything like it in my entire life. It was like literally one after the other. He would be lighting one with the half-lit one that's already in his mouth, and he would smoke a whole pack, and he'd crumple up the pack and throw it on the floor by the bar. And he was eating a giant bowl of French onion soup, and like I will never forget those 2 hours of my life.
Guy.
I've never seen anything like it. It was unbelievable. It was like a professional cigarette machine. It was unbelievable.
Oh my!
It was truly impressive. And he's not even French.
I'm genuinely jealess of that.
It was honestly like he didn't say anything that cool. There was no
now
cool
he's
stories.
stuck in Ukraine.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's funny? So the rub here, the end of this story, and I didn't know this actually until like a year later, but the following morning he like ended up helping El Chapo get caught. That was like,
wow.
He was going to some meeting with El
he's
Chapo.
So stressed, probably.
Very possibly. Very possibly. Yeah.
Oh wow.
God damn.
But it was a cartoonish amount of cigarettes. It was. I've never seen anything like it. Honestly.
That's what I see in my version.
I wonder what's going to be the cigarettes from now. In
that's
like 40
weird to
years, because if you look 40 years ago, everything is a cigarette.
Phones.
It's got to be phones,
weird.
right?
Phones, Adderall,
I think
and
like
phones
will be a little more like incorporated in you physically.
We'll have but we'll also probably be dealing with some sort of health issue from phones.
Sure.
And maybe we'll have
brain
like
too. We just didn't know. They said it was fine.
Hey, can I go to the texting section of this Applebee's?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Phone or no phone, Wi-Fi or no Wi-Fi, no Wi-Fi. I'm quitting.
Oh God, if it is 5G, we're all gonna look dumb as hell.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
I got a buddy he'll tell you it is.
So you know what's crazy about when I think about Citizen Kane, I don't remember much of what happens. Because all you really remember, he's like he like runs a newspaper. So okay, then this is sport. Can you spoil a movie? It's 90, or I guess 80 years old now. He's like runs a newspaper, and he does accumulate a bunch of wealth, and he's kind of like not a good guy, but it shows him on his deathbed like missing his childhood, but you don't know what he's missing the whole movie or something like that, right?
You don't know it's him. Yeah, you don't know what Rosebud. He says Rosebud. He calls out for Rosebud before on his deathbed. You don't know what it is, and you're watching this whole movie to try to figure out.
It's just like the last time he was happy was when he was like 11.
Yeah, it's a sled. It's his sled from when he was like 10 years old, and you realize this man is
his
just
sled
been
is named Rosebud.
Yeah,
yeah.
People didn't have a lot of things then, so everything had like when you're 11 and you're poor, you're like, do I name the thing I own?
That's like me with Crossfire.
Yeah, very much so.
His sled is named Rosebud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that doesn't track. I mean, if we were to watch that now, we'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Well, it's been made fun of so much.
Yeah,
so much.
I kind of forgot that was connected to this.
Right.
But
The thing that I always remembered about watching Citizen Kane is
it's a sled.
It is, and it honestly isn't. You watch it, and even I don't know if it's possible to watch it without it having been ruined a million times because it's that famous. So maybe the effect is a little bit diluted. But I watched this for the first time in college in like a film class, and you're sort of like, yeah. You know what I mean? You're not like the sled, like Kevin Spacey faked a limp.
Right. It's supposed to be like that, but it's a sled.
Well, you know what's weird? It's interesting because like I feel like as a movie thing, it's more famous for all the things it invented or it did, for the first time or better than other movies. But like that is one of the things where like the Kaiser Soze moment, that doesn't happen without Rosebud as a reveal.
Yeah, I mean, there's
so it's interesting how much it doesn't hold up for that reason alone, where it's like we're like 10 levels past the things that it did well.
It's like watching a quarterback from the 60s. Like if you watch footage of like Y.A. Tittle, and you're like, look at me, threw the ball forwards. And you're like,
280 yards and 1 touchdown. That's terrible.
Patrick Mahomes just threw the ball while he was sideways.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles recently again. And I mean, I like when people are like, I'm always like, it's top 5. And it unfortunately is,
great movie.
It's a great movie, but it is diluted a little bit by the fact that it has just been replicated so many times that a road trip set piece comedy is, unfortunately is just because of that movie is not that original.
And when you watch those with someone who hasn't seen them, you become the person saying like, no, but this did, it's like,
it's really good.
No one likes being
I talk about it a lot on here, but like someone watching The Matrix for the first time, you want to be like, no, but they came up with the fight.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, the fight was like ruined by epic movie.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
That's
movie,
a lot
when
of.
you first saw The Matrix, you were like, "What the fuck is going on right now?"
That's a lot of Citizen Kane, but it's like so because the medium was so new then, let alone like the audio associated with the medium and camera tricks. So they like do like a pan, and then your film teacher's like, "Huh?" And you're like, I can do that with mine. They panned?
Yeah. We've got a canted angle from the upper. Yeah. Like
there's like a crane shot that happens, and they're like, this crane shot shut down the eastern seaboard for 6 months so he could like start in the balcony of a theater. And it's like 8 people died so you could get this crane. They just threw migrant labor off of a balcony to get this shot.
Horrible.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah.
The things that don't, that transcend that kind of stuff. Jumping back to like Planes, Trains is like that, and that is a great movie. I love that movie, but I feel like the thing that hurts it for that same reason you mentioned is that like it doesn't evoke a feeling the same way that like I'm a big Midnight Run guy, and I feel like that's also like a classic two-hander, Odd Couple, Two Guys on the Road. But I feel like it also like evokes this feeling of a world that you're in that they don't make movies like that anymore. And I feel like Planes, Trains, people took that exact thing and made them all like that too. So it's like, not just, like the kind of like the premise of what they're doing, but also you have the same flavor. And I feel like that's an interesting thing that like, it's hard to do that with movies to like get back to a place where like The Firm is another movie where like, we don't make movies like that anymore. Even though we have lots of like thrillers and fun legal thrillers, we don't have a movie that has like a weird, fun, like jazzy score and like weird albino hitman and just like all these different things that just like make it stand out a little bit more. And I don't think that Citizen Kane necessarily does that either.
I think that it is. I don't know, and if does. I'm just looking at like Citizen Kane info over here. It does come up on here a lot because we're all about not seeing stuff. But when you see something it is almost as important as what you're seeing.
Yeah, the context
and what you've seen before and what this is. So it's like all these. If you look at like historically how movies are like rated and lined up next to each other, it's like in linear order of when they came out, and it is important. Citizen Kane is important for coming up with like developing completely new techniques and this idea, and it's kind of like everything was very cookie cutter before that, from what I remember. And then he's sort of like an anti-good guy, like an anti-villain, and like instead of remember the protagonists were generally like, I'm here to save everything. And, like, And then this was like a very early, like, he just loved his sled.
He was just in love with a sled named Rosebud.
Was it
relatable still?
Does he drop a snow globe? I don't even remember the specifics.
He does. It's the snow globe because I think that's how we get into the Rosebud moment.
I can't picture it. I can
What,
only
he's holding
picture...
a snow globe on his deathbed?
Yes.
And then when he dies, he drops it?
Yes. I can only picture Mr.
Who's holding
Burns dropping it.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
only thing I can
that's
picture.
the moment.
That is reminiscent, but it's also the idea of holding a snow globe on your deathbed is, I mean, sorry.
If someone
Like
picked
a
up
snow globe.
Yeah.
A snow
It's
globe, I'd be
comical.
like, get this the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I don't need this.
I'm
is trash.
too weak, but I can hold the thing that's too heavy to still have around for no reason.
Yeah, yes. Let me look through the snow globe. Oh, my Lord, look at it. Entertainment is peaking. Look at I can shake it, and I'm like God over here.
I will.
I feel like transitionally, I feel like to use that transition to get to the flashback, that may have been like a first in cinema.
It was.
Yeah.
That was a big thing, and they were like, but it's so funny because the medium has come so far so fast. Like film, it's a baby, like stand up. It's a baby art form, but we've moved so far so fast that a lot of the art form makes fun of or is self-referential. It like had to be so quickly that this was only 80 years ago, and they're like a fade, like they faded, and it's like
crane.
I'm surprised that you don't hear like mythos of the fade and people run out of the theater because they think there's like an 80-foot snow globe falling on them or something like that.
Run!
How is that tall man talking?
Earthquake! Earthquake!
The biggest sled of all time. And they just all storming out, like shaking the newspaper.
Oh my God.
It is.
Yeah, now I can like replace my face with Mike Tyson's on my phone in a movie. Like it's really crazy to think of like how much it has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so funny looking at the movie made $1.5 million.
It's a blockbuster.
Not even like great for then, because it cost half of that.
Oh, really?
Although I guess if a movie doubles now, we're just talking Marvel costing $500 million and making $1 billion.
It seems very strange to have the longevity after not like back then. I don't really know how did you find an audience years later back then? Like it's not like anyone took home your movie.
I think it was.
It was a big hit.
It was. It said it was the 6th highest grossing film of the year of its release. But re-releases throughout years.
Well, what a name!
Give
me the top 5. Give me the other top 5.
I bet the top 5 are like Bootsy at the cookout, and like Fran goes to a job, and like
circus guy eats a sword.
Right,
swordsman.
I want to look at it.
Oh, well, you know what's interesting is I feel like a lot of there's something to be said about this.
Oh shit! There you go.
I'm like, what little stupid ass? And that was Gone with the Wind.
Never heard of it.
Gone with the Wind was still second, and it came out 2.5 years beforehand. It was still in theaters.
What?
I have a small spoiler, just to bring this back full circle from where we started. But Barbed Wire, the Pam Anderson action movie, is basically a future punk version of Gone with the Wind. It's when I was rewatching it a couple weeks ago, like halfway through, I was like, wait a minute, is this Gone with the Wind?
Just another classic example of having a hard time watching the original once you've seen the remake.
Yeah. But you know what? They did it better. They did it better with Barbed Wire, I tell you.
Barbed Wire's less racist.
So Sergeant York is number 1. Gone with the Wind is
number
2. Oh,
that's a hell of a Sergeant York.
And then I haven't heard of any of the other ones. Honky Tonk, I guess I've heard of the idea.
Honky Tonk is fantastic.
Tobacco Road, Buck Privates.
Tobacco Road's great.
A Yank in the RAF.
That's a porn.
These are all going to be on.
Pee Wee Herman got arrested for the number 4 grossing movie that exact year.
Yeah.
And but it is like Gone with the Wind, 2.5 years after it came out, sold 49 million tickets.
That's crazy.
I do think Gone with the Wind, adjusted for inflation, is still the highest grossing. I think it sold the most tickets of any movie ever.
A 2.5 year run.
If you're selling 50 million tickets 2 years after you came out.
Yeah. I mean, like Avatar had a long run, but I don't think
it would be very funny if the director of Gone with the Wind was like what James Cameron's doing. He's like, I only want to make Gone with the Wind movies now. I'm gonna live in the
one.
I'm gonna live in the Gone with the Wind world. He releases
Arrived
one
with
next
the
year.
Breeze is the next one.
Disappeared with the exhale.
Yeah.
That's so much money.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just fascinated. Classic. But it made $200 million in 1939.
Wow, that is fucking crazy.
That is.
I mean, there's no television to watch. There's there's
No.
not much to do. You're gonna put on the old radio and do some ragtime dancing, or you're gonna go to the old Nickelodeon and
I
watch
guess
yourself some
is
Gone with
that.
the Wind.
Would you say that is more or less impressive than for Gone with the Wind? Because there is less stuff to do now. It's like if a movie makes $1 billion, you're like but it's up against everything. But there's way more people.
It's up against me making myself Mike Tyson on my phone. Like you can do anything. Like or just looking at stuff on Wikipedia for 4 hours. Like it's the competition for attention.
I mean, people, we talk like there are so many episodes we've done where like it'll be like a guy. There was a guy who was just like walking backwards across America, and like if he was coming to town, like people were like, cancel your fucking week. The backwards walking dude's coming to town.
Yeah,
or like there was like a bicycle races, and be like, look, we're at capacity. There's 1 billion people inside. We can't help you. Like, I won't fucking do anything. Go watch this guy ride a bike.
What are you doing this weekend? There's going to be a tall person near.
Yeah. Totally.
We got to go buy a ticket to be around the tallest person we've ever seen. How tall is he? 6 something.
6'8". He's big and fat, too. He's almost 200 pounds.
Yeah. This guy can lift 2 circles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which, I mean, again, why circus was so important and all that stuff. But yeah. There really was not the attention grabs like there are today by any stretch.
So here, Gone with the Wind sold 202 million tickets estimated, which if you look up that's 30 to 40 million more than any other movie ever.
Wow. That is crazy.
That is crazy.
Like the gap between it and the second place, which is Star Wars, is the total amount Aladdin sold. Like it's like whole other giant movies.
Math.
It's crazy. I'm looking. It drops off real quick. You got like the big giant movies about. The Star Wars is
We're one Aladdin away from Gone with the Wind.
I know but you can see someone in a boardroom like we got to make 3 Aladdins off of this thing. They're just like using it all.
We're 2 Aladdins away from half of a Lord of the Ring. This is huge.
All right, $2 billion Gone with the Wind has been made adjusted for inflation. Pretty crazy. I'm sure that whoever made it and is making their family's making 6 cents off of it now would love for me to say, but adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're laying on their deathbed thinking about that sleigh when they were a kid. Just
they're dropping a ticket stub and they're just saying inflation. But I bet it's good. I couldn't even fathom watching it for the first time now. You're probably like
Gone with the Wind?
No. Citizen Kane. Really either. I've never seen Gone with the Wind. Maybe I will.
Gone with the Wind holds up. It holds up better than Citizen Kane, to be honest. As far as like there's more of like I get why this was. There's less research involved to appreciate it.
Okay,
in my opinion. But again, if you're gonna watch it,
are we talking
watch
about
Barbed Wire.
Are we talking about the original or my Citizen Kane? I keep getting confused because
I like your Citizen Kane the best out of all 3.
Thank you.
I like yours because it actually shows someone overcoming something.
Thank you.
I actually do think I'm sure if you watch Citizen Kane now, like if I watched it through the lens I have now, I'd be like, oh, he exploits labor 9 minutes in.
Oh,
like, why doesn't he? You know what I mean? Why doesn't he pay these people for printing the newspapers? They should unionize, and then it's just like him showing he's just showing an overhead projector thing about how unions aren't in your best interest.
Always.
Just see reddit.com/anti-work. My boss, Mr. Kane, said that I'm using my PTO, and he says I need to be a team player.
Unions are for dummies.
That's good. Wait, is anti-work, is that a subreddit? That's a good subreddit. I gotta check that out.
It's like a huge deal now. The anti-work subreddit is like very big, like a pro-union sort of But
okay.
As much as Reddit could be.
Which brings us back to Reagan.
Yep.
The most pro-union
King
of any
of the
of them.
unions. That's right.
Well, here we're going to do. We're going to wrap up. We got a couple games we're going to play today. This first game is called Before and Afters.
To play Before and Afters.
How this game works is 2 movies are smushed together into one movie. I will read you the smushed together plot. You tell me the smushed together title. Sort of like the Before and Afters category on Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune. You're lucky. You're lucky.
I met Pat Sajak at a political thing we were doing together, and now
I love him.
He certainly is still around. So some examples.
Is he okay?
Oh yeah. It's just a pack that he runs.
Okay.
It's called Buy a Vowel, and you buy a senator, you buy a vowel. So what this is going to be?
Good shit.
He's anti-PC, and so that's why he runs a PAC.
I'm so proud of you.
I don't know. It hurt my neck saying all that. It's like a weird little twitch happening.
You got through it.
All right, so some examples: Saving Private Silverman, The Wolf of Wall Street, Fargo, which would be Fargo and Argo, all over the place, right?
Okay.
Except not as good as those, because those are the ones that were good enough to be examples.
Right. Okay.
Feel free to work together. Feel free to
Okay.
not. It's up to you. Here we go.
All right.
Plot
Let's
number
see what
1.
happens. Okay.
Oh wait, shit, Todd, you were in the game thing, so you know these. So this is just Gareth on his own.
Oh no.
Oh, these are the same ones from that game, the special game thing?
Yeah, we ran a Never Seen a Game thing with some fans of the podcast, and so it's where I wrote a lot of the games. So, Gareth, looks like you're on your own with these here.
Oh, fuck.
Here
There's
we go.
a good chance I'll still get it wrong.
We see the personified individual emotions of a man visiting his girlfriend's family who seem to have an overly nervous, growingly disturbing behavior surrounding his interracial relationship.
Oh my god. This is You say it again.
I do not remember this from the game.
We
night.
see the personified individual emotions of a man visiting his girlfriend's family who seem to have an overly nervous, growingly disturbing behavior surrounding his interracial relationship.
Oh man.
This one's kind of hard.
That's very hard.
That's the hardest one I think I've ever heard on the show. Honestly.
So think about, we break this down. We see the personified individual emotions of a man visiting his
I'm already
girlfriend's
struggling
family.
with that one.
I got that one.
Let's go, Todd. I need help.
That one is the Pixar movie with the emotions. Not Soul, but the one, why can't Inside Out. Inside Out. Oh, Inside Get Out.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Which also sounds like a James Lipton featurette on a movie he liked.
Inside Get Out. Yeah. We see the.
Oh, that was not in that game's. That was not a part of that game's. Yeah, that was definitely not.
These might not
that was a
have
tough
been.
one.
I got the big long running doc of like, I have about 1,800 of these now, and they're just it's not as organized as you would expect. Here we go. Number 2. A team of Jewish soldiers are assembled to commit violent acts of retribution against Nazis as they attempt to rescue a princess and restore freedom and justice to the galaxy.
Well, I feel like it's Inglourious Basterds and Star Wars.
Yeah, Inglourious Basterds Star Wars.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. There we go. I had the movies.
Yeah, you did it. That was good.
That one looks good on paper.
Okay.
You got a little capital B, lowercase a, capital S.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm going to get this one.
This is our last one. After something happens to leave the world with few survivors, 2 families share an uneasy alliance to keep the outside evil at bay while they are stowed away in a museum where everything comes to life at night.
Read it again. The first one, I don't know.
After something happens to leave the world with few survivors, 2 families share an uneasy alliance to keep the outside evil at bay while they are stowed away in a museum where everything comes to life at night.
I don't have the first one. I mean, like, it's like Dark Knight at the museum, or like
I Am a Legend? Is that I Am Legend?
Oh.
Is that a thing?
It's a thing. It's not this thing, but it's a thing.
What's the one with John Krasinski? Like, be quiet. Everyone's quiet. Stay quiet.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine it was called Everyone's Quiet?
Everyone's quiet.
I don't remember.
Starring John Krasinski.
It's not that movie, but you're getting closer.
Or something. It's gotta be like.
Oh, what's the one with the Jason Clarke one? The Jason Clarke movie that's like The Quiet One.
The Quiet Place is the movie.
Yes, it's the Jason Clarke Quiet Place movie. I don't remember the name of it. I also didn't see it, but I remember the trailer. It's like one of those, like, it's a horror movie thriller type thing.
It's got to go into night, so it'll be like
yes,
something good night.
It comes at night. It comes at night. Is it called It Comes at Night?
Museum? There we go. Okay, I don't know that movie. Damn it.
Yes.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Yes.
Be good playing.
I'll take it.
I only know that movie from the trailer, and I'm oddly I'm a big Jason Clarke defender. I feel like a lot of like dumb people like shit on him, but I
would
like
say oddly the situation comes up where you need to have any strong feelings about him.
That's true. He is like a very does not evoke a lot of feelings in most people.
He's like, I just didn't even remember who he was. I looked up. I'm like, oh, I'd be happy when this guy shows up in a thing. I think he'd do. There's a whole group of actors who I think have pivoted from being in Sons of Anarchy to being in A24 horror movies, and I've never seen Sons of Anarchy. I just base it on how they look. But
My Three Sons of Anarchy.
My Three Sons.
I've never seen Sons of Anarchy, but I don't think that he's in that. But I do like that.
Anarchy.
That's a very good point.
Jason Clarke.
Well, there's like a bunch of guys who are like
right.
kind of southern-looking white guys with like scraggly hair that I assume were in a couple Sons of Anarchy episodes.
I'm surprised Kim Coates hasn't had like a horror movie of his own.
Kim Coates Dash?
Or maybe he has. He's probably in those like Rob Zombie horror movies that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, Kim Coates I do know because I always thought he looked like I tried to draw Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh my lord!
Wow, dude, I love Kim Coates, man. I love me some Kim Coates. That's good. That's a good description.
I'm just jokering. All right, the next game we're gonna play is called Build the Perfect Movie.
Build a perfect movie.
How this works is I will give you a category. You're competing against each other. You have to pick 2 movies from that category whose Rotten Tomatoes score adds up to as close to 100 as possible without going over.
Oh, so it's not the mean, it is the addition.
Total.
Okay,
it is the total.
Okay.
So I'll give you'll each pick one, and then we'll review your scores, so you can pick your second one according. And Price is Right rules apply. You cannot go over. For instance, a perfect movie, if I was like Robin Williams is your category, Happy Feet is a 76, RV is a 24. That would add up to 100. You'd be looking at a perfect movie.
RV's a little high for me, but
yeah, and Happy Feet's a little low. A 90-10, I think we'd be living in a good world.
I was on speaking of watching movies on a plane once. RV was on a plane once I was on. And there's a scene where they're emptying the RV and the poop is going everywhere. And this German woman next to me was losing her mind. It was like, I was like, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone laugh this hard.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Okay, got
it. So let's think. What do we want to do? Let's do 90s.
Kim Coates? Kim Coates movies?
I don't think we're going to do Kim Coates specific Rotten Tomatoes. We're going to do 90s movies. So you'll each have to pick 2. We'll get a little background music playing here. 2 90s movies. Todd, since you've played before, you can pick first. Gareth, you'll pick second. And then we'll review the scores so you can each pick your second. Gareth, oftentimes people like to go low, then go high. We call it Michelle Obama. That's a final category they do. So
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with a wonderful '90s action movie. One of my old favorites, The Last Boy Scout, starring Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, and featuring the wonderful Kim Coates as a henchman.
Great work.
A very memorable performance.
Shane Black is in this movie.
He does cameos semi-frequently in stuff in his earlier days. I mean, Predators is like my famous one.
The Last Boy Scout.
He ghost wrote it.
All right, Gareth, first movie.
I think it's called Stone Cold.
Hell yeah, with the Boz?
With Brian Bosworth.
One of the fucking best movies of all time, man. That is about as much fun as you're allowed to have watching a movie, man. Yeah. Stone Cold is so fucking good. I would love to start, if I was president, most of my platform would be making people watch Stone Cold. That movie is so fun.
Every actor in this movie has the same exact look at this point.
Oh, yes, dude. That's like Lance Henriksen and Forsythe. They're just like, I don't even know if they're acting. That movie could be a documentary. That honestly might be a documentary.
All right. Well, let's go ahead.
Stone Cold is so awesome.
The Last Boy Scout is a 46%. Todd, so you're looking for a 54.
Sure,
looking for 54. Stone Cold is a 33.
Great movie.
So you're going to be looking for a 67. Gareth, you'll pick first in this round because you have more to make up, but you can think about it for a second.
Okay.
67 is close to.
So I need a pretty good, not great movie. Gosh almighty. Damn it. I know what my next bad one's going to be. Does that help? I'll say... How about Fools Rush In?
Ooh, Matthew Perry?
Yeah.
Okay. Todd?
That's interesting.
Looking for a 56, is that right?
I have some Stone Cold trivia. I don't know if we want to be doing that right now.
That's its own podcast.
It should be its own podcast. No, that's
Stone Cold Cast.
I feel like I'm gonna do. Oh. What do I need to? What do I need to get to? I need 56. That's
so you need a movie
tough.
a little bit worse.
54.
I need 54. This is so tough because
you need to think of a movie a little bit worse than The Last Boy Scout.
I wanted to do a bit where I was going to do another Kim Coates movie, but I feel like all of his other movies were not poorly. They're either really bad or not. I mean, like Bad Boys is going to to be above
There's
that.
Not a,
I feel
54
like
might be the rarest of air for a Rotten Tomatoes score, anyways.
Yeah, that's a really divisive
to disagree.
movie that features Kim Coates from the 90s. You know what? I'm gonna go with Last Man Standing, also featuring Bruce Willis and Kim Coates as a henchman. I feel like that could be a divisive movie. Maybe it's pretty fun. Not as much fun as Stone Cold. Stone Cold is so good.
Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at our scores here. All right, Stone Cold, 1991, 33%. Fools Rush.
No, wait. You know what I want? I want Waterworld. I want Waterworld.
Oh, interesting.
What a pivot.
A Jeremy pivot. That's a term.
That's when someone just wedges their way into stand-up.
Yes.
Just tell stories with a dog on stage.
That's when someone watches Michael Richards' set and decides they like stand-up.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Sometimes you tell Stone Cold is a 34%. Sorry, Stone Cold's a 33%.
I was gonna say
Fools Rush In is a 34%.
Wow.
So we are at a 67.
Both terrible.
Wow.
The last
was Fools Rush In? Was that Selma Hayek? Was the
but I would have thought if Stone Cold did that, I would have thought. But what do I know? Okay.
It's all the different genres. You got to, people.
Sure.
Last Boy Scout, 46%. Waterworld, 48%. That's a 94.
Oh,
wow.
Well done.
Last Man Standing was a 37 and also barely would have won it for you, but.
Can we just jump, not to make this about Stone Cold and how awesome the movie is, but the ending set piece of that, they literally destroyed the Capitol. I think in Arkansas or maybe it was Mississippi. I forget where, but they literally, as the filmmakers, they promised they were going to do all these like safe stunts, and they just basically put a helicopter through the state capitol. It's
holy
fucking incredible.
Wow. And how am I supposed to learn about history then, Todd, if the statues are taken down?
Multiple politicians were removed from office for letting them do the stuff they did.
I think they removed them all from the offices so they wouldn't die.
Happened on Reagan.
They should have.
All right, we got one more game. And then we're out here. This game is called Guess What Movie Kyle's Dad is Describing. Having only watched the trailer and never having heard of the movie, the game.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Guess what movie trailer Kyle's dad is describing, having only watched the trailer and never having heard of the movie.
How this game works is my dad, who has not been to a movie theater since he saw the original Space Jam with me in the mid-90s, has not been to a theater since then. He describes a movie trailer, what's happening in the trailer. You have to guess what movie trailer he is describing. Todd, once again, you may have to sit this one out if you remember exactly what it is.
I can't wait.
I'm trying to think which ones of these. Does that sound all right? So it's just important. He doesn't know any actors.
Okay.
Here we go. Wow, this one is so hard.
Okay, black and white shots. It seems like 1,000 years ago. Wait, not black and white anymore. Wait, some black and white. He's just floating up there, looks alone. The world has changed. She hit the target. I really do not know what is going on. What is this shiny place? What happened to that guy? He just blew away? Everyone should move on. Everyone is doing voiceover. Some magic fighting shots, some guns. A guy jumped off a pencil. They keep repeating the same line now. And they're all in matching suits. Dramatic, slow reveal of the tile. Oh, this is that? Did that just fly to his hand?
Oh my God.
Is that Ant-Man? Is there an Ant-Man in that?
This one is hard.
I mean, And well, this is a trailer from any time. You just showed it. Oh man, I mean that honestly, he's on a pencil. Oh my god. Well, I don't remember the movie well enough, and I certainly don't think a lot of what your dad is describing is in the movie. But I only thing I can think of is Pleasantville.
That's a good guess though. With the that's a good guess.
The problem, what makes this a difficult one, is the trailer is made for the existence of the movie rather than the movie itself.
Oh, so it's like a montage of previous movies that like.
But like this was the trailer, but the problem is the movie it is for had such a specific moment that the trailer is
well, they're all saying the
dramatized.
same thing.
Dramatized. The trailer is not like here's what happens.
Right.
It's like here's what happened.
Yeah.
What
is it a retrospective Ant-Man movie? I feel like there has to be an Ant-Man in it for them to have done a pencil thing. Is that was he watching Beetlejuice and he just got a lot of stuff mixed up?
No, I think that's one of the movies he's actually seen.
That's awesome. Good choice.
Yeah, that is a good choice.
All right, I'll give you one hint if you want.
Okay, go ahead.
The character Todd's referencing is in it.
I know what this was. This was on the.
See, I
game.
Don't know enough.
I have to sit this out. I remember what this is now.
I never see these movies, so
I don't see them either. I also do not see any of these movies. I do remember this.
I'm trying to think what I really have no frame of reference for these movies. Ant-Man.
It's a fun thing to say if you haven't seen, just to go Ant-Man.
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 All right, well, I'll give you this one. All
right.
We were looking for it. This is Avengers Endgame. This is the end game.
Yeah,
the trailer is like so dramatic because it's the buildup of like 24 movies. So Scarlett Johansson and then Chris Evans and then Robert Downey Jr. They're all like saying that we've got to do it. Or it's like it's not a trailer for a movie.
Right. It's a trailer for the event.
Right.
Right.
Well, here I can give you. I'll give you
all
one more from a different movie.
Okay.
So we
all
don't
right.
Great. Here we go.
You don't need to softball me either.
I do Avengers Infinity War right now. All right, so he's sharpening the pencil, but it's huge.
You do Pleasantville.
I think we've done. I might have Pleasantville. I think we've done that one. Here we go.
Okay, empty streets except for them. They have a pamphlet. There's a ticking clock. Some guy's floating in the water there. Ticking more. Everyone is just standing there now. Oh wow, now it got intense really fast. Apparently this shaped our world. They're coming back around. There's a lot of sailboats. Some dramatic phrases over very intense shots. Airplanes. The music is very intense. Laying face down, a heartbeat sound.
Fuck. Oh my god.
Master and Commander, Far Side of the World?
It is not.
That's so
that's a
funny,
dad movie. He would have seen that.
But they're all alone. I mean, it sounds like it's a war. It sounds like a war. I mean, it's some kind of war film. Has to be some kind of old war film, or not old war film, but like newer film about an old war. Like Saving Private Ryan was something I was thinking.
Right war.
Titanic?
Could be Dunkirk.
Ooh,
It is Dunkirk.
Wow. Holy shit.
What a pull.
What a pull.
There you go. So
that's good. That's very good. We got Dunkirk.
Yeah.
Gareth, thank you for coming on and for having never seen Citizen Kane. Thank you.
You're welcome. I won't watch it.
Let everyone know where to find you and stuff you got going on. Now is a perfect time.
You can find me at Reynolds Gareth on all social media. A guy named Gareth Reynolds took all the handles away from me. He's Welsh and he likes rugby. And then you can go to my website, GarethReynolds.com, for stand-up dates. And then probably when this comes out, I'll be about to go to Australia with my podcast, which is the Dollop. So you can go to dolloppodcast.com for Australian tour dates. And then we have a bunch of tour dates this summer. So yeah.
Nice. We got a bunch of Aussie buds. Go check it out.
Yeah. Join us.
Nice.
Hell yeah. And then after you're done checking that out, watch Stone Cold featuring Brian Bosworth.
Watch it on your phone.
I'll watch it on the plane.
Watch on the plane.
If you guys are listening, if you're a podcast fan, if you watch Stone Cold on your phone while at a Dollop recording and send it to me, I'll send you a present in the mail, even all the way to Australia.
Yes.
I hope there's a recording where you're yelling at someone for being on their phone and they have to be like, I'm watching Stone Cold on a bootleg
Dave will be
video.
like, oh, what the fuck? And I'll be like, no, it's a callback. Don't get get mad, but not like furious.
Get editably out mad.
He was told, sorry, stop watching it, but you get something now. Good work. Anyway, Dave, you were saying.
It doesn't count if it's a Stone Cold Steve Austin entrance music compilation.
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
But thank you
that
guys
sounds
very
pretty
much.
awesome, though,
I hope everyone has a wonderful day whenever this exists.
Starburns Audio.
I've never seen it.